Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another omnibus review. This time, because it is October, and because Vampirella is one of my all-time favorite Warren publications, as well as one of my favorite characters of all time, I thought I would go through Vampirella Omnibus number 2, The Warren Years, brought to you by Dynamite comic books. This covers issues 8 through 14, and while each magazine only had one Vampirella story and 5 or 6 other interesting stories, I'm just going to talk mostly about the Vampirella stories. The other stories that were all fun, all could have been pulled from Creepy or Eerie magazine, all definitely worth reading, and lots of inspiration. A lot of Egyptian themes in these 6-7 issues. I forget how many it is exactly, but a lot of other horror and turnabout is fair play kind of things. All of them with their pithy endings and gotchas at the end. The Vampirella stories are what I was mostly interested in because later on, when this magazine ended, there were full-fledged Vampirella comic books and magazines that continued this story. This one picks up after, I forget the name of the doctor that was helping her create the serum. She escaped from that, and Adam Van Helsing and his father are still trying to track her down, thinking that she's a vampire. But by the end of this particular volume, it's clear that Adam can't kill her, and he's fallen in love with her, and she seems a little bit smitten by him as well, which is part of the story. Even in the modern era, the two of them are still a couple. But this one, I wanted to go over some of the great artists that happen to be in this one, because from this point on, I think we're going to see fewer of certain artists. But it had such greats as, obviously, one of my favorites, Jose Gonzalez. But it also had not only Barry Windsor Smith, but Wally Wood and Bernie Wrightson. And unfortunately, some of those stories were not Vampirella stories, but needless to say, artists of that caliber are definitely something you might want to add to your collection. There's also something interesting I thought here on the back cover. I want to read it to you. Vampirella was so hot, I used to buy every comic I could get my hands on. The fact she didn't exist didn't bother me, because we have these quintessential female images in our mind from none other than James Cameron, director excuse me, of Avatar, Titanic, Aliens, and Terminator. And can you imagine if we had actually gotten a real Vampirella movie, not the one that we did get, but one by James Cameron and whoever they found to play her, which there's only a couple of female characters that boast the beauty of Vampirella, that being like Deja Thoris and maybe Sue Richards and Mary Jane Watson. But this one would have been probably one of the hardest costumes to fill. I'm just going to leave that there. But if you haven't picked up the first omnibus, obviously you're not going to pick this one up until you pick up the first one. But I highly recommend this and all of the Vampirella omnibuses. Just wait until I pick up 3 before you go shopping for 3, because I will probably pick that one up this month and keep reading these. I told myself I was going to get one of these a month, but I sort of fell behind. But I will pick up the rest of these and share my opinions on the goings on as I go through these. But this is definitely going to get put on the shelf right next to Conan and some of my other favorites. Rom and the Silver Surfer and a few others that I'm gonna not spoil and bring to you next month in the coming months. But for October, I wanted to stick to Halloween stuff, and I know you guys are probably maybe a little done with all the vampire stuff, but you know, they're a biggie for Halloween. So this will probably be the last vampire character I talk about, other than obviously the Tomb of Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula. I will finish those up for you and have them out by Wednesday. But that's what I've got for you this morning. I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you had a great weekend. I certainly did. Little tiring. Did some, some manual labor, but I definitely had a good weekend. 3 games, 3 days in a row. So that's definitely living the dream. So if you're interested, go ahead and leave some comments down in the comments section, and let me know what you thought. If you read Vampirella growing up as a kid, you just recently discovered it. Again, one of my favorite characters of all time for a lot of reasons, and not the ones you might think. But you'll have to stick with the show to find out just why, and I don't know, maybe guess down in the comment section. But I will see you guys tomorrow with 2. I know I forgot the second one last week, but it's been kind of hectic around the Shadow household here. But I will definitely have 2 for you, and one that might surprise you. But again, you'll have to stay tuned for that one as well. But until then, have a great week, and as always, happy trails.